Hullabaloo Press is our printmaking entity at the University of Indianapolis. It includes all of our printmaking, but specifically our letterpress. We have etching presses, letter presses. We have a beautiful 1960 Vandercook Universal II, and then a 1923 Chandler and Price letterpress, platen press. And so we have a number of big presses as well as small presses. We have a number of tabletop presses that the students use to learn all of the techniques before moving on to the bigger presses. We have, I think, 16 different presses altogether. We nickname them, that's a common tradition in printmaking. And so she's Diana Prince after Wonder Woman's alternate identity. So for letterpress, we usually start with metal or wood type, and then the students add hand-carved wood blocks or linoleum blocks to add their own imagery. And then they can pose that into what's called a form. And then they would just add ink and paper. All printmaking is under the guise of having some kind of matrice, in this case type, or a linoleum block, adding ink, adding pressure and paper. Those are the key ingredients for most printmaking processes. If it's not a very complicated poster, it could take a matter of hours. If it is a more complex piece, it could take days or weeks. Obviously not continuously, but there's a lot of trial and error to get it to where it needs to be.
I came for high school day and I did the printmaking thing where they just carve a little lino cut and you just print off like three to six editions of it. And when I pulled my first print, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. When it comes to letterpress and silkscreen and relief cuts, I'm like really into from beginning to end, like designing, carving, printing, setting. I love the whole thing.
I study photography, specifically digital right now, but I've always loved film and that sense of touch that you get from it, and printmaking offers the same qualities. It offers a history and what it is and how it is, and then also the sense of touch and malleability that you don't always get when you're working on a computer. To have the opportunity to explain that to them and what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and the whole process is always interesting because at some point they finally get it, and when they get it, they're very impressed and it's a different language that you have to understand.
Printmaking itself is really making a comeback, and I think that's also kind of attributed to people my age and a little bit older are kind of fascinated with old school technology like records.
I think we as a culture have been exposed to technology in wonderful ways, but also I think we as human beings are initially makers. We want to make things with our hands. We want to feel in contact with the things that we do. And I think a lot of students, myself included, when I became a printer, one of the things that really drew me in was I got to touch everything. I got to feel the type in my hand. I got to compose the poster or the print, which is very different than on the computer. There's a physical aspect to it that's really exciting, and you feel accomplished when you pull that first print. We chose Hullabaloo because it means to make a ruckus, and we hope to make a joyful ruckus.